This hangout is live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Rag-NERD-rok actual play. Tonight's... See what you did, Ryan? See what you did?
I had to go and point it out.
It's your fault. Tonight's...
full responsibility.
We are doing a Patreon live stream, a backer game. Tonight's game is called According to Plan. It's a fate-accelerated thing that I came up with, so everyone who's playing tonight has been kind enough to be my guinea pigs. So why don't we just introduce ourselves real quick? I'm Alex. We're going to do character creation and stuff together, so there's no characters to introduce yet. So Ryan.
All right. Hi, everybody. As you might have guessed from that plug, I am Ryan. I don't know who I'll be playing tonight.
And we've got our patron.
Hey, I'm Steve, and I'm going to be playing somebody bad.
Yes.
I don't know.
And our special guest friend.
I am Ray from Insert Quest here. I have kindly loaned my services to these nerds.
We are
and I know for a fact that I am going to be playing someone decisive.
Ooh, okay. So the point of the game is that you guys are all pulling off a heist. So you guys are, let me just close my door, sorry. You guys are stealing something from somewhere. So before we even figure out what your characters are, the first step is to figure out what you're stealing and from where. So this sets up the tone and the setting for the game too. So it could be like a bank heist. It could be like
so it's a
Ocean's
heist
11.
game, but like it could be like a fantasy heist game if we say
Yes.
we're stealing the Magna Carta before it can be signed.
Yeah, or you're stealing the test tubes of embryos from the space station. Now it's a sci-fi game. So it's totally up to you guys.
We're stealing the heart of Prometheus before he can be used to resurrect the brides of Dracula.
You guys want to steal the heart of Prometheus?
I don't know. I think maybe Steve should suggest it's his game.
That's
All
true.
right.
He is paying good
Steve.
money for this.
Don't put that shit on me.
You could tell us the kind of thing you're in for.
Narrow it down.
Yeah, what are you in for?
I'm really in for anything.
We could just throw some genres at you, some weird heist genres.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of weird heist genres. I don't know, for some reason, old folks trying to steal something from a rival old folks home came to mind.
Okay.
What else?
Give us our medication.
So just I was writing things.
I have read Cloud Atlas, and there is like a story within that is basically a heist, like a prison escape movie from an old folks home.
Yeah. What else? What do you guys got?
I mean, you could do, if you want to do like a Wild West train heist.
Or train jobs are always good.
Train job. Like I said, if you wanted to do like a sci-fi thing, you could do fantasy. You could just do like a modern day bank heist. If you want to do like an Ocean's 11 kind of casino robbery.
Samurai stealing the life of the person who killed our daimyo.
Yeah. Well, not a murder. Like you're stealing. It has to be a physical thing that you're stealing.
Oh, okay.
You could be stealing the corpse of your daimyo so that you can fulfill his final wishes of being buried at the Oceanside Shrine.
Yeah, or like barrels of gunpowder so that you can effectively retaliate against the daimyo's enemy.
Let's go.
We're going to steal all of the steam train engineers from the capital so that they cannot roll out their iron beast across our beautiful nation.
How about this? I'll throw out a genre, and then somebody else throw out a twist on the genre, and then we'll go from there.
Yes.
Sci-fi.
Okay.
A twist on sci-fi. I mean, sci-fi is kind of a twist, to be honest. I feel like you apply sci-fi to another genre to give it a twist, but...
Yeah, exactly. So then use the other genre.
Okay, so we're choosing the
Samurai.
other half. Ryan, what's
Samurai
the other
sci-fi.
half of our sci-fi thing? Of Steve's sci-fi thing.
Well, we're already blending sci-fi and heist, aren't we? So we just have to pick a weird sci-fi thing that we're gonna steal. Like maybe
I feel like we could use another genre in
A
there.
third one?
I
Yeah.
feel like we want to go transhumanist conspiracy horror on this and have 3 genres.
Do you want to do samurai sci-fi?
Isn't there already a Star Wars heist movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Good point.
Although it doesn't have any Jedi in it, so not actually samurai. I don't know. What are you feeling, Ryan, in your bones?
We did say train job before. So what about a sci-fi western heist?
There we go.
I love Serenity. There's literally an episode of Serenity called The Train Job. Now let's do it though. I'm into it. Also, I have done a bunch of Train Job Eclipse Phase games before.
So, what are you guys stealing from this train?
Steve, are we bad men, or women or non-binary individuals?
I think we cross
Are we
the
lovable?
range from.
Are we lovable scoundrels, or are we just bad people?
I think that's a case-by-case character choice. We're stuck together, one way or the other.
We're all in it.
Very little mind. So what do you guys want to steal? Money? Some sort of good?
I want to steal new identities.
Yeah, I was just actually thinking that.
Something to establish a new identity.
Our way to break up the group because we're stuck together. We've got to get IDs in order to not be stuck together any longer.
Okay.
So maybe we're stealing ID discs or a way to manufacture ID discs. We're stealing blank ID discs.
Ident disc manufacturer.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. From speeding train on Mars, on alien planets.
Mars has been done.
Mars has been done.
I've been to Mars a lot.
The train on the rings of Saturn.
Yes,
Ooh,
fucking
okay.
let's add in some space opera aspect to this.
Okay, so you guys are stealing ident disc manufacturer from a speeding train on the rings of Saturn. I like it. Okay, so the next step is to come up with your characters.
That's basically like a Dyson rig.
Yeah,
I'm kind of thinking that it's basically just a train that probably runs to various space stations
in the ring,
orbiting Saturn in the rings.
I'm into it. Yeah. What's the next part? What do we do next?
Right. So now you come up with your characters. So you have your name, which is your name, your high concept, and where your trouble would be, that's your motivation. So your motivation is the reason you are doing this. I'm
going to steal a motivation from Deadshot.
You could steal your motivation from anything you want.
It's in the character Deadshot.
Oh,
motive for my daughter.
Yeah, sure. You need to get a new identity for you and your daughter. So the rule for your high concept is your role in the heist and crew. Some sort of your role in the crew and a descriptor like a nervous hacker, a bloodthirsty gunner, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I have decided that for my name, I'm going to open up the Magical Fury book and go to the magical girl name table.
That's a good one.
Because I don't know, something about a train around Saturn just made me think of Sailor Moon.
I don't know why.
The scenes in Sailor Moon where they flash back to like their past lives, and it's like this weird sci-fi Regency thing. And ballrooms everywhere in space, and Tuxedo Mask is there, and
yep.
I don't know. That's just what I'm feeling. Where is my RPG folder? Documents, RPG books.
we're out and about doing shit anyway. So
Powered by the apocalypse. Majaka Fulgura.
hop in Flora's car and drive over to you guys.
Uh,
Give Mom the key.
There it is.
She's gonna.
You gotta mute your microphone when you step away, Ryan.
I'm still here.
I thought that you were talking.
No, that's Allison.
Appendix. Page 28.
so if you guys don't have, if none of you want to be like the planner or the mastermind, we can just say that the mastermind is back at the base, whatever that might be, at the secret rendezvous location.
Clock King has already given us our orders.
Okay.
All right, so I need 2d6 to do this. Oh no, I'm just gonna fucking roll down here and see what's cool. I think I can eliminate the first column.
Oh, Steve, I'm just going to move your stuff down because your motive is on the run.
Oh, my bad.
And,
All right.
Although maybe I want to remove the middle column. Oh no, I'm going to use the middle column for my concept. Okay, so I need 2d6. I have. Can I just plug a product quickly?
Go for it.
So I have these wonderful milled, very well balanced dice. The numbers are actually milled in at different depths into the dice to change the weight. These are both D6s. You might notice they look like D12s, but they are D6s. I also have, and this is far more exciting, a D4, a 12-sided D4. Because a 12-sided D4 rolls, whereas a 4-sided D4 drops.
That is very true.
And is a dungeon trap.
One of my partners cut them for me for Christmas.
Nice.
Very cool.
We use D6s a lot, but I like the D4s more. So let's see.
I have a set of dice that are made out of copper, and the D4 can literally injure you. It's just a metal point.
56. So let's write these down. TIME. 35. Nah, that doesn't work. 36. Huh. Interesting, but I don't think that's going to work. I got healer, and I'm like, I don't think that's going to work. I mean, in a heist, it could be fun. God, and then I rolled cure.
Depends how the heist goes, I guess.
Stop giving me vague Christian things that I can't use. I got savior. Oh, fucking muse. I don't want muse. 11. Although, fuck, sure, acolyte. Why not? I'll make it work. And then part 3. 13. Boring. 62. Huh. That's more boring. Who knew? 22. That'll do. So my name is Time Aurora.
Ooh, that's a good one. So, Steve, what is a shifter?
Someone who changes shape, man.
Ah, okay. Oh, okay, that kind of shifter. And Ryan, cracker, like a safe cracker, hacker kind of person?
Basically, I'm thinking that my character is all cyborged up, and she can jack herself into the Matrix or whatever, plug into whatever hardware she needs to interface with.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a solar acolyte.
Okay.
I'm a devotee of the path of the sun, and I have stolen fire like Prometheus in order to bring the true light of the universe to the dark places.
So I would just reword that a bit to be part of your role in the group. So you could be like a religious something or a zealous person, but the high concept should be your role, unless acolyte is your role in the crew somehow.
Hang on, I got this. Solar acolyte. Burning vengeance. There you go. That's my role.
Burning vengeance.
Yeah, I'm here to burn away obstacles. No, of the
Gas and chew
clearing
bubblegum.
of. If I'm here to burn away obstacles, then clearly I am a solar acolyte of the cleansing flame.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
I burn away our problems.
Yep. All right. So we've got Una, Pim, and Time. I like it.
I'm going to change that from flame to wind because solar wind sounds cooler than
Okay.
flame. And, you know, the sun isn't really fire.
So you guys can decide if these are your real names, if you know each other's real names, if you're a long-standing group, or if you've just been thrown together for this one job. But the way the game works is we're going to start. Oh, you also, I'm sorry. So you leave all the rest of your aspects blank and then fill out your approaches. So if you've never played Fate Accelerated, instead of skills, they use approaches. And approaches can cover a wide variety of things. They really go about how your character approaches a situation. So like if you're trying to shoot someone, you might say, I pull out my gun and I shoot him. That might be quick, or it might be forceful. But if you say, you know, I try to like raise my gun up so he doesn't see it and then shoot him, that would be sneaky. So the same action could have a different approach depending on how you're going about it. So you, instead of saying, I want to roll my athletics, you say what you want to do, and then I'll tell you which approach to roll. So to start, you get one approach at +3, 2 at +2, 2 at +1, and 1 at 0. And what that means, when you roll your fate dice, you add your pluses and whatever bonus you have from the approach and subtract the minuses, and you want to be on the pot. You want a positive number.
All right, what's the highest number I can acquire first?
+3.
+3. So I have one stat at +3.
Yeah.
Sweet, flashy.
Okay.
Fucking made of fire.
My +3 is clever.
What is the next tier?
You get 2 at +2.
Forceful and quick because I am the sun. I am as fast as light.
You're Madonna.
And as powerful. I mean, clearly what I should have done is made my character based on lyrics from Girl with a Short Skirt and a Long Jacket, but I didn't think that through.
Yeah.
Next numbers, please.
2 at +1.
2 at +1. Careful and clever and -1?
Just 0.
Oh, just 0. I am
Whatever's
0
up to 0.
sneak. I am 0 sneak.
Not a sneaky person. Okay.
I mean, I'm made of light, so...
Yeah. And any other character descriptors you guys want, if you're, you know, any flavor for your character, you can write down to flesh out. But that for right now won't affect your stats or your aspects or anything.
Okay. I'm a sneaky 3, clever and careful 2s, and forceful and quick 1s. 0 flash.
Okay.
All right, and I am clever 3, careful and sneaky 2, quick and flashy 1, and forceful at 0.
Okay, cool. That's a good balance. All right, so that's character creation. Just if you've never, Steve, have you played Fate before?
Dresden Files, but that's it.
Okay. I don't know how does that have stress, or does that use a different system?
Pretty sure it uses stress.
Yeah, it uses stress.
Yeah. So if you take stress, so like if someone gives you 2 stress, that doesn't mean you fill in 2 boxes. That means you fill in the box that's marked 2.
Yeah, I got it.
Or if your 2 is already full, you fill in your 3.
Going through.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you could take a consequence, which does the same thing. If all your stress boxes get full, you're still around. You can fill up your consequences. But if you want, you can take yourself out. So you basically describe how your character gets removed from the rest of the scene. You get knocked unconscious, you fall off the train, and you're fighting your way back. You get locked in another car or something, but you're out of the rest of the scene. And at the end of every scene, stress refreshes. Consequences stick around.
Okay.
Okay, so the way the game works is you'll notice on your sheet that you have space for 3 more aspects. They start blank. So when we start the game, you guys are going to be outside the door to your prize, but things seem to be going wrong. The alarms are going off, the authorities are nearby, and it looks like your heist might fail. So the goal of the game is for you guys to make sure that doesn't happen. The way you do that is you spend your fate points to have a flashback scene where you set up something for the heist. So you can have a flashback scene. So like if Ray decides that he wants to have a special space shotgun, he spends a fate point, and we flash back to the planning, and his character says, I'm going in hot, I'm going in armed. And so then Ray can put on his character sheet the aspects, armed, shotgun-toting bandit or something like that. If you wish, you can also spend fate points on that group sheet I gave you. There's the thing that says the crew. You can spend the fate point to create an aspect for the crew. So Ray decides everyone gets a shotgun. He could put down on the crew aspects, shotgun-toting crew. And then you guys have those aspects to draw on. You can spend your fate points to add to your roll with any of those aspects. So you can spend a fate point to add +2 to your roll or to re-roll by invoking one of the aspects. You can also use it to set up things about your character. So like the example I use, Ryan decides he wants to be an undercover cop. So he could spend a fate point to have a flashback scene that establishes he is an undercover police officer. You can also spend a fate point to jump on to someone else's flashback. So Ryan decides he's an undercover officer. Steve decides he likes that idea, so he spends a fate point to also be an undercover officer.
And then Ray spends a fate point, and we're all undercover cops.
Right. Well, that would be something. Or you could take it a different way. Steve spends his fate points, and he's in the police precinct that day that Ryan comes in wearing his badge, and so Steve knows that Ryan is a cop.
I'm not an undercover cop as well, Ryan. Clearly, I am a celebrity that is on some kind of ride along with the undercover police.
You're working on your novel.
Yeah, I'm working on my novel.
Nothing's more subtle than a celebrity on a ride along with an undercover cop.
Yeah, exactly.
The one thing you can't do is spend a fate point to negate someone else's flashback. So if Ryan says he's an undercover cop and Steve says, oh no, I don't like that, he can't negate Ryan's flashback.
Spend a fate point to negate Ryan.
Oh no!
You can negate Ryan, that's fine. You just can't negate his flashback.
All right.
You can add to it, you can change it. So maybe Ray decides everyone has a shotgun, but Steve decides he doesn't trust everyone. So he spends a fate point so that none of the shotguns besides his are actually loaded. They're all loaded with blanks. And so then we'd have the aspect, shotgun full of blanks, something like that. And Steve would get the aspect, the only real gun, or whatever you want to call it. So throughout the game, you have flashbacks that flesh out your characters and help you complete the job. So if you're stuck in front of a locked door that you can't get through, you spend a fate point and have a flashback to the scene where you realize we should bring a lock-picking equipment. And then when you flash back, your character reaches into their bag and pulls out those lockpicks that you've had the whole time. We just haven't seen. So think like in Ocean's 11 kind of flashback to the setup when it becomes prominent or pertinent to the story.
All right.
You guys get it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right. So the train job. Our camera starts with a wide shot of peaceful tranquility. Saturn fills the screen, the rings glistening like diamonds floating in space. And it starts a slow zoom in, and we see lights moving across the edge of the rings. And as we get closer, we see that those lights are part of a train, a futuristic space train that's gliding above the rings of Saturn. Cars interlocked with flexible, futuristic metamaterials that allow people to pass through while keeping the airlock intact. The train has windows, but we just watch those flash by, and the camera passes by one car that has no windows at all, and the walls look thicker and darker. And then as the windows approach the next car, the camera shifts into the train, and we see our three, we won't call them heroes, we'll call them protagonists, standing outside the barrier to entry, so close to their goal. There's, nope, wrong character sheet. There's Una, the cybernetic cracker, Pim, the secretive shifter, and Time Aurora, the solar acolyte of the cleansing wind. The three of them stand outside the final door before their goal, the stash of ident disk manufacturers. Sirens are going off inside the train, and and as they look out the window on the other side, coming from Saturn, they can see the flashing lights of Saturnian police rockets speeding towards them. Their bright trails almost burning your retinas as they burn hard to get to you guys to protect the precious cargo within. What do you do?
You fool, I told you not to burn the lock.
Look, you bring someone like me on a job, you know what you're getting.
We didn't have a choice but to bring you. Always with the fire.
Both
Look,
of you.
technically, it's not fire.
All right, we get it. It's plasma, okay? Let's just focus. Look, the lock is irrelevant anyway. We need to access the teleporter pad.
Okay.
Una is a tall woman, kind of unnaturally tall and lanky, and she has wires running out of her bald scalp, and they plug into like kind of a backpack of circuitry that is strapped to her. And one of her arms has all kinds of weird little attachments hanging off of it. So she's like scoping around trying to find the secret teleporter pad.
I told you I'm not taking the damn teleporter. Pim is a tall, severe-looking woman, very thin. She's got on a bunch of black clothing right now.
Okay. I would imagine, because you said your character is like a shapeshifter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
it's
would
very
imagine
stretchy clothing.
Yeah, pretty stretchy and gender neutral, so that way no one gives you a second glance when you're walking around if you have to change it to someone else.
It's a nano leotard.
Of course it is.
It's the form-fittingest of form-fitting feature garments.
You just dyed your skin black.
If we had time, we could have cracked this. We could have just cracked the door. Damn it!
You said we didn't have time.
Well, now we really don't.
The Saturnian police are on their way. We need to make this happen now.
Okay. So Ryan, you could spend a fate point to give yourself some piece of to set up a flashback scene that's going to give you some piece of gear or some specialized knowledge that will make it possible to do whatever it is that you want to do.
Okay. All right.
I wrote on a sheet. You all start with 3 fate points. You can get fate points back by allowing me to do things that are going to interrupt your plan and make it go worse, or I'll offer you compels for your aspects. So if you're really nervous, cybernetic cracker, secretive, so maybe Steve is worried about people finding out one of his secrets, I can give him a fate point, or someone questions times religion, that could be worth a fate point. If you ever need a fate point, you can ask and we'll come up with something.
Cool. All right, so I actually do have an idea for this one. It's not an aspect for me. I kind of have an idea for Steve, since Steve is playing a shapeshifter.
Okay.
The teleporter is DNA coded. So we need to steal the person's DNA who can activate the teleporter.
Okay. So we flash back to probably earlier in the day, standing on Titan. That seems like a good place. It's Saturn. So in one of the dome cities of Titan, there is a man who is the only one who is supposed to have access to the teleporter. He is the chief constable of the Saturnian police. So how are you guys? So Ryan spends the point. So you are going to get the DNA. So, but we're gonna play out this scene to see how it goes. So what's the plan to get his DNA?
Well, I'm a cracker, so I'm probably on Overwatch.
All right, I'll do it. Pim straightens her leotard out a bit. I just need to get close.
All right. You know what? I think that Una is going to hack into one of the auto cars that drives around the city.
Naturally.
And or maybe several of the auto cars, and cause a traffic jam to give Pim her opportunity to get close to the target.
Okay. So roll plus clever.
Okay. Wonderful. 2.
2. Okay. So the target is most of the people growing up on Titan are taller because they're born in the lower gravity environment. So the man is like 6.5 feet tall, which is average size. He's wearing the gray and yellow uniform of the Saturnian police force. And he's got the epaulets that just shows that he is the chief constable. And suddenly there is a crash as the automated cars, which aren't supposed to crash into each other. It looks like there's been a big fender bender at a stoplight with a bunch of cars hitting each other. And it has definitely taken his attention. So Steve, roll plus sneaky, and you get a +2 from Ryan's setup for you. An additional +2 to whatever your sneaky is. Okay,
so where is he? He's on the train?
No. This is a flashback. So you're in a dome city on Titan, and Una has just caused a bunch of the self-driving cars to crash into each other, creating a huge ruckus and a big distraction, giving you the opportunity to sneak in and get a strand of his hair for DNA.
Okay. Roll sneaky. -1, but I have a +3 on that, so 2.
And you have an additional +2 from Ryan, so
4.
+4. So Pim quickly sidles up to the chief constable and glances at his shoulder and sees one of his blonde hairs just sitting on his uniform. And you quickly reach up and pluck it with a gloved hand and drop it into a small sealed tube that you have just for this purpose, and run off without him even noticing. So you, I guess we'll give the crew the aspects. DNA lock key. Okay, go to the DNA lock.
So, I as I'm straightening out my leotard, I straighten out and pull from my sleeve this tube, this glass tube that was supposed to be our last resort.
Mm-hmm. So describe how you are going to use this to activate the teleporter.
I mean, I'm handing it to the tech guy. Wait, I'm sorry. Was Una's a woman?
Yes.
To the tech girl. Here you go.
All right. Now I just have to make it think that all three of us are one person and that we're all the chief constable.
So I'd say roll clever.
All right.
And don't mess up.
I did not mess up. +7.
Damn. All right. So you don't all get melded into one person. So the three of you step onto the emergency teleporter pad, and there's a flash of light. And where do you wind up?
Ooh, it can't be that easy. So we're in the car with the ident discs, but I'm thinking we're in some kind of a holding cage.
Okay. Do you want a fate point for that?
Sure, why not? Who gets the fate point?
We don't want a fate point.
Well, Ryan, you could take it, or you can let someone else have it.
You already spent one. You take it.
Sure, I'll take it. I screwed up.
Okay. So Una almost had it right. There's a flash of light, and you guys appear on the other side of the door. There's the hum winding down, as the teleporter cools beneath your feet. Una, you're happy you got in. You take a step forward and then step back as your face gets singed, where the powerful force bars crackle and the energy pushes you back. And you realize that you're in the car, but you're not much closer to your goal.
Ooh, mind the energy grid.
We were supposed to be inside of the vault, not in the cage.
I can deal with this energy grid. Assuming you all don't want to get in my way again, like with the door.
Plasma person, it's all yours.
It's your show, Matchstick.
So this dark-skinned woman with no hair and like a golden stylistic sun tattooed on the back of her head. Skin like darker than pigment should be able to get. Like darker than coal, darker than a night sky. This person is a living black body radiator. Steps forward in like ashen clothing, and when I say ashen, it's like the fabric is made of ash. It's loose fitting robes and is asymmetrically cut. There's like one sleeve and then nothing on the other side, and things like that. Steps forward and sort of puts their hands together in front of them, with the tips of their fingers pointed towards the ground, and then pulls their hands apart, and we see like what is a blinding light in a very similar shape to a coronal mass ejection. So it's like this ribbon of stellar matter, solar matter, just arcing between their two hands.
Okay.
And then closes their fists, and the light disappears, and the room seems very dark. And then I just put my hands inside this energy field, and you slowly see the skin around their hands start to take on the color of the energy field.
Okay. I would
hopefully.
say,
Hopefully.
Well, why don't you spend a fate point? Because I could see this would be a good point for a flashback.
Sure.
So somewhat. So you guys are in your planning room.
So a flashback to establish that I have this ability.
Yeah. So this to give yourself an aspect that would help in the scene. So something like security expert or energy absorber, something like along those lines.
I'm gonna put black body radiator on there.
That's fine.
And I have a good idea for a scene, unless you establish.
Nope.
Sure. So I think that we see the two of you in like wherever it is you're planning. Maybe you're talking about, oh well, what if there's energy grids? What if they have phases? What if they have disintegrator beams or particle rifles?
And you roll up and like, have you heard the news about our Lord and Savior, the Sun?
Well, and then I think you two start going through like a list of people you know that could deal with those sort of problems, and just like in Ocean's 11 or whatever. One of you suggests a couple of names, and the other one's like, "Well, that guy's dead. That one's in jail. That one refuses to work with you for some reason." And then I think one of you goes, "Well, what about time? What if we got time?" And then I think the other is probably like,
I've never worked with her, but I've heard things. Do we even know if she can do it?
I'm pretty sure that she can. She's just a little weird about the whole sun worship thing.
Well, we should test her at least.
All right.
And then it fades in on Pim just shooting time with a phaser beam.
Yeah, probably like there's like you're in like a bar, right?
Yeah.
And there's like all these people fighting, and then you just sort of pull out a laser gun, and shoot in the wrong direction of the bar fight at time, who's just sitting at the bar drinking like tea, and then just like sort of winces and looks around, and then turns to face this group of people, and just starts glowing with solar fury.
We cut to outside the bar, where we hear screams and just blinding light shooting out from the windows.
And then I think the three of us walk out, and one of you's like holding a bloody nose, the other one's like icing a burn. It's like, oh, really sorry, I didn't realize it was a job trial. I just thought you were a bunch of assholes.
Not mutually exclusive.
Luna takes off her sunglasses, and you can see that she's sunburned all around where the sunglasses are.
Yeah, we see maybe we see a couple of silhouettes burnt into the walls.
Okay, that's perfect. So
when we snap back to the future, Pim is just smirking and kind of nodding as she thinks about that time she shot time.
Okay, so what do you want to call your aspect?
I'm calling it black body radiator, because a black body radiator is a thing that absorbs energy.
Okay, so time shoves her hands into this grid, and the two of you watch as the bright whitish orange light, the whole grid lights up in front of you. You can see it spans the whole width of the train car with these broad, angry-looking bars of energy. And Time just sticks her hands into them, and the grid glows brighter, and you could tell it's like fighting to push her back. And she just stands her ground, and you guys start to smell something burning. You don't know if it's her or the circuits. And then
I imagine that Time often smells like ozone, so it's probably annoying to try and guess whether the electronics are burning or not.
You guys feel the heat in the car start to rise, and you can tell that Time's body is just radiating this heat out as the color, the orange, starts to go up her arm. And when it reaches her elbow, the grid just boom goes out. And for a few moments, and for now, the only light in the room is Time's orange hands and forearm glowing, and they slowly fade as her body absorbs the rest of the energy. And then you're just in this pitch black train car.
As it goes pitch black, I just say into this train car, we probably see like light coming out of my mouth as I talk. I just say, ha, barely a snack.
All right. Which one is it? Which is the one that writes?
I think it's the third compartment.
So as you guys look down, you can see this car is long. This is a space train. Each car is probably 500 meters long, and wide enough to fit 5 people abreast. But this one is the secure cargo car, and it is just stacked floor to ceiling, from the walls inside, giving you about a meter to walk, with locked, secured crates that have been mag locked to the walls. And floors and ceilings. They're mag. It's a square inside. So all the containers are either pressed against each other or a surface, creating just a solid block.
All right. I guess we have to go find. Well, I said the third compartment. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is, depending on how well we've planned.
So I mean, if you want, someone could spend a fate point to flash back to finding out exactly where in the car the thing's going to be, or maybe what's box number you're looking for.
I'll spend that fate point.
Okay.
So I think it's you guys filling me in on the plan. And I'll interject with a question that sets up this thing where it's relevant. So why don't you guys just role play out talking about the plan?
All right. So the target is a shipment of 100 blank ident discs.
Mm-hmm.
We infiltrate the train. We make our way to the storage car, and this is really important. The door to the storage car has to be taken out carefully. We've got to hack it. No blowing shit up. We're not going in heavy on this one. We need time.
Yeah. I got all that the first time. Do you have any honey for the tea?
Oh yeah, right over here.
Continue with the plan.
So anyway, once we're in, we just have to make sure they do protect the cargo with energy grids, so they will sequester us if we trip any alarms.
Right, so that's why I'm there, to take down the energy grid. And then what else do you need me for after that?
Well, we may need to make a bit of an abrupt escape. So all of that energy you've absorbed, if you could, say, direct it toward a bulkhead or two, would not be out of the question. Or
and we're stealing these ident discs. Are we stealing all of them? Or
no, we need a. Oh, here's your honey. By the way, we need a specific one. It's the one that can rewrite idents.
Right.
They've already been established.
And do we know which container that's in?
Do we know which container it's in?
Of course we know.
I think maybe there's something that it's written on or something, or
The camera pans down to the table. There's just a mess of papers. You see blueprints for the train and like a map of Saturn and the route the train's supposed to take. And there's a note. There's like a post-it note that just says box number, and it has like a long 16 alphanumeric code for the box that you're looking for.
Uda or Pim lifts her teacup, and it's just like in a perfect ring of the tea.
Yep. All right.
You're working with professionals now, Time. As we flash back to the future.
all right.
The
So
number's not anywhere.
Okay, so I memorized the third sequence of numbers. Which part of the sequence did you guys memorize?
I've got the first sequence.
Is this where we find out that we all memorized the third sequence?
I also memorize. I like that. I also memorized the third sequence.
All right. So
I memorized the third sequence.
God! Did anyone write it down?
flashback to you guys all leaving. Do we got everything? Yeah, it's fine. Let's go. And there's a post-it note still
We gotta
on the
miss
table.
the train.
No, the post-it note is on the door as we're closing it, so that we won't forget it when we open the door.
Yeah, it's on the back of the door.
Yeah, on the inside of the door, and then we close it behind us, and the post-it notes comes into view.
So I don't know if you wanted it to be your aspect, Ray. I figured that would be a crew aspect.
I think that's a crew aspect.
I called it 1/3 of the way there.
1/3 of the way there. Brilliant.
So,
All right, so we just need to find how many of the storage devices have that number on it, right?
So wait, did he just spend a fate point and then get a fate point back for the fact that we don't actually know the number anymore?
yeah, sure, if you want.
Sure, I'll take 2.
It's an interesting complication.
Yeah. You're up to 2 now.
All right. Well, if I mean, it's simple process of elimination, right? How many could there be? If we just look at this long train car.
How many could there be? One of you reaches over and hits the light switch, and the lights come on as the train car just stretches down into the distance in front of you.
Why do they have to make these train cars so long?
New plan. I'm gonna go find computer systems access point, and I'm gonna plug into the train's network and see if I can download the inventory. That way, we can get a quick overview of how many crates on this car have that particular third sequence of numbers.
I'm just gonna start looking. So I would like to quickly scan the
Okay. Yeah, you can roll plus quick. Ryan, are you trying to do this quickly or more efficiently?
I think I'm going for quick.
All right, so both of you roll plus quick.
And I just lost one of my fate dice. Oh, there it is.
I got a +1, so I'm going to spend a fate point, and I'm going to invoke 1/3 of the way there because I know what I'm looking for.
Yep.
I rolled a -3, and I have a 1 in that, so I'm at -2.
Okay, so Pim, you're looking, and it's not here. They must have moved it to another train. You can't find it. You can't even find a box that has like any of those digits in that order, and you're starting to freak out.
They're fucking onto us. They knew before we even got here.
Una, you
There's an
go
inside
through,
man.
You go through the system. Would you like a fate point?
I just spent a fate point, and this is entertaining, so yes.
Okay, so you log into the system, you hack into the system, and you do find the package. It is in the center of the car. However, it is buried underneath a bunch of other mag-locked boxes. So right now it is inaccessible unless you can find a way to demagnetize the other boxes.
Did you know that a star is basically a giant magnetic bottle? I say, as my hands start to crackle with solar energy. You just see it like rippling across my body. It seems to be emanating from my heart. Just these lines of solar heat.
Well, if you think you can demagnetize that enormous clump of crates over there.
Look, I'll demagnetize something.
Without destroying the precious electronics inside.
Demagnetizing things is not the problem. The problem is keeping things magnetized.
Ray, would you like a fate point?
I would like a fate point.
Okay. So roll forceful.
Sure. So
Or flashy, actually.
Flashy? All right. So I roll my fate dice, and then I add my flashy to the total number of stuff.
Yes, and you want more pluses in the end than minuses.
Yeah. I remember that part. Well, it's a good thing. So I got a blank, a positive, and 2 minuses. So that puts me at +2 if I'm using flashy.
Yes. Okay. So you get a fate point, so you're back up to 3. So you guys watch as Time saunters up to the pile of crates and says, "I got this." And she clasps her hands together again and pulls them apart. And you guys again see what looks like a solar flare arcing between her hands. And last time you remember, she like clasped her hands back together, and it looks like she's about to do that, but it looks like she can't. It looks like the flare in between her hands, this arcing band of glowing plasma, is fighting back against her, and suddenly the tip of it breaks open, and you guys hear, or you see this wave of electromagnetic energy just wash over everything. And you hear
you guys remember to put on your sunblock, right?
It gets hotter in the cabin again, in the car again, as you hear boom, as the power just goes out. And you guys are in pitch blackness as you feel the train itself the whole train seems to lose power. So the good news is that you have demagnetized the boxes. The bad news is you've demagnetized the entire train, which also turned off the artificial gravity that was keeping you on the ground.
Oh, God.
So now you guys
of course,
are
by
in
artificial gravity, they mean our magnetic boots.
Yeah, sure. So your mag boots turn off, and all the crates get demagnetized too. So
we're floating around a pitch dark train car with a bunch of heavy cargo crates bouncing around in space.
Yes,
that's terrible.
But you have access to the one that you're looking for.
Yeah, we'll be fine. I've seen Defying Gravity. I know what happens when you have giant fucking floating crates in your cargo bay. Although that also happens in the first episode of The Expanse. The point I'm trying to make is someone will lose a limb. And then they won't be able to pilot the Venus lander.
Look, all we have to do is get to the crate and not get crushed. That's easy enough, right?
So who wants to go for the crate?
Okay.
Done a lot.
All right. I think it's my turn.
Okay. So you could do it carefully if you want to, carefully move your way and climb over these crates, or you could do it quick if you want to just push yourself off one of the bulkheads and zip and zoom through the crates. Or you could do forceful too if you want to just go fuck it and just push everything out of the way as you go.
I will do carefully.
Okay, you're also blonde. So what do you want to do about that?
I know you said blind, but it did sound like you said blonde.
I'm blonde? Oh, man. Okay.
What are you going to do about being blonde?
I don't know. Dye my hair.
The good thing
about being blonde is that your hair can take any color.
It's true.
We flash back, and my hair is covered in aluminum foil, and Let's see. How am I going to not be?
So this would be a good point. You could spend a fate point to set up a scene where you have some sort of either like a flashlight, or since we're sci-fi, you got some sort of ocular implant that lets you see in the dark.
I mean, you could go even weirder, and maybe you've got a an inoculation against darkness.
Yeah, or maybe you got some like bat DNA grafted into you, so you have like echolocation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I'm debating whether or not I want to do it for myself or for the whole team.
Yeah,
I'll spend a fate point, obviously, and I will say that we have we all got some kind of implant that'll allow us to see in the dark, or lenses, maybe.
contact lenses.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the flashback is
Oh man, I got a great idea for your flashback.
Okay. Do it.
Can it be? I want to emulate one of my favorite deleted scenes from Johnny Mnemonic. Can we have you meeting with a person and you say, "Did you get me blank?" And then they will say that they got you something similar, and you can be very annoyed that it is not as similar as you would hope.
Yeah.
It'll still work, but it's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Did you? All right. I'm here for the pickup. This is 100% genuine, right?
Yeah. I assure you, it's perfect. It's fine. I got you genuine article. It's all fine. It's fine. You have money.
I crack open the case and I look at them. They don't look right. I thought they were supposed to have a gold tint.
Look, it's different brand, but it's still good.
Different brand. Money? I didn't ask for a different brand. I specifically said I wanted a very specific brand.
Look, this is better. I promise. Okay, it's high end. It's from Uranus. Best body works on Uranus make this. I promise. 100% good gear.
I grab them by their collar and I say, if you are fucking me over, I'll be back for you.
Look, I can see you're very busy, man. I give you discount. I give you half price, all right? A genuine gear. You get half price now. Huh?
I mean, it is quite a deal. All right.
I promise it'll work.
Flash forward to Una examining the lenses. I told you to get the gold ones. These are the bronze ones.
It was a good deal. We had to scrimp somewhere.
They discontinued these because of the screaming, because of the pain.
I just wanted them to not last as long, but that's fine too.
It was a true bargain. I mean, I just thought, we could save a little, and then that's how we were able to afford the hacking equipment for the door.
Una holds up a hand and she says, "Allow me to read you some of the Space Amazon reviews of this product." She summons up a holographic window, and there's just like
the first one is just my eyes.
Yeah, a list of 1-star reviews. Like it's like pouring lye into your eye sockets and then stabbing yourself with an ice pick.
I don't think these people have ever poured lye into their eyes. Says Aurora, knowingly.
An exaggeration to me as well.
Okay, so we cut back to the present. Pym reaches into the pocket of her jumpsuits and pulls out these lenses and takes a deep breath and tilts her head back and lifts her eyelid and puts one in and then the other, and she blinks. And for a second you think, oh, that's not so. And before you can even finish the thought, you feel the... See, the reason the gold ones are so good is because they had nanoscopic wires.
Oh, no.
So you don't feel them. The bronze ones are a little bit bigger. So you two hear this terrible scream as wires come out from these lenses and pierce through Pim's eyes and embed themselves in her optic nerve.
Don't worry, Pim. They're just interfacing with your retinas. It'll be over in another 5 minutes.
Then you feel the burning sensation, Pim, as it goes through the startup sequence. But about 5 minutes of agony later, when you feel like your entire life has not been worth it, and you'd be better off if you were just dead, because that would be better than this pain, it starts to fade. And you blink your eyes. You're kind of surprised that you still have them, as things in the room slowly begin to resolve. So you could take the aspects.
I've seen the light.
Blinded by the sure, seen the light.
Yeah.
You
can just keep that aspect for yourself, I think. I don't particularly want it. I don't think the crew needs that one. You can have that one all for yourself.
So you can see, you can't see color because there is no light in here. It's kind of like, I hate to say, do you remember the old Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Good shit.
It's kind of like that. Like you're seeing everything in like black and white, and you can see the shapes of things, so you know where these boxes are. And luckily for you, the codes are like engraved into them because you can't see like text on a screen. So you can't make out anything like that, but you could see shape and depth.
There's also one of those like blurry company logo watermarks in them. So, everything has a watermark. I'm like,
this vision brought to you by ICO.
The best eyes on Uranus.
Okay, so you could roll plus quick to. I think you said you want to do quick, right?
No, careful.
Careful. Okay. Yeah. So roll plus careful.
Yeah, 5 minutes integration time. It's not. It's not quick.
Yeah. Okay.
The reviews were right. Crying did make it worse.
Can I before I roll?
Nothing.
Can I compel seeing the light, and get like maybe a fate point for taking a minus on the roll or something like that?
No. If you want, if you want an aspect, basically, if you take a compel, it just doesn't work.
Okay.
I'll give you get a fate point, but
okay.
It doesn't work.
No,
what you can do, you could spend a fate point after you roll.
Yeah.
To either add +2 or to re-roll.
Okay.
And invoke any of your aspects, including seeing the light or the crew aspects.
All right. Let's see. Clever. I rolled a plus minus plus.
You said careful.
Oh yeah, careful. So that is 1 total with a +2. So total, 3.
+3. Okay. So, I was going to say the two of you watch, but you don't. You hear the sounds of Pim's hands and feet hitting crates and bouncing off the wall as she slowly makes her way across the room. And you find tucked in the corner where the wall meets the floor, about a few hundred meters away from you, you see the box. It's probably about a meter cubed because it's a whole bunch of ident discs plus the machine to read and write them are packaged together in this thing. So you, luckily, there's no gravity anymore, so you can just kind of lift it up and move it and push it back towards, wherever you want to push it to. What is the next part of your plan?
I will push it back towards the two of them, and it will it will smack right into Time's face because she doesn't have the eye lenses on.
Ow!
And I say, okay, now we've got to get out. I think I've got this one.
That I can do, but if you
wait,
have a better
I think I can do it a little bit less flashy. Save some of that energy for later on, because I have a feeling we're going to be surrounded out there. So I want a flashback of what would this be? So basically the idea is my suit is not just a nano leotard. It is also a nano. It is a swarm of nano dismantlers.
Okay.
And I'm gonna lay down on the like what used to be the ground of the train is now nothing, neither ground nor ceiling, and start doing a snow angel on it to disassemble a circle in the train.
Okay. So you're gonna have to spend a fate points for that suit. So do you have an idea for a scene? If not, I do.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so we flash back to during the planning phase. We hear a ding 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 from a shop door as we see Pim walking into a clothing boutique. There's an older man with like pince-nez glasses pinched to his nose.
I have a question about this older man.
Yes.
Does he perchance look suspiciously like Raiden from the second Mortal Kombat movie? I can't remember the name of the actor. Does he look suspiciously like the dude that made Black Lightning's suit?
Oh, that guy. Sure.
I'm just picturing it's the same dude.
I don't know the second Raiden. I only know Christopher Lambert.
Oh, the second Raiden. He also did he's in like the Phantom as well. He plays one of the bad guys.
He's that guy. You would know him as soon as.
I will do that. You continue with the scene.
Yeah. Okay. So he looks up. He's wearing a button-down shirt with a vest and a bow tie, and he's got a tape, like a tape measure over his shoulders around his neck. Can I help you, madam?
Yes, I need an item of clothing.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Something very flexible. I'd like it to be something I can change into and then not have to change again for several weeks.
We have many materials that can do that.
For those of you at home, the person I'm thinking of is named James Ramar.
Just a regular material, or perhaps something a little more meta.
Well, I'd like it to be something that is flexible in many different ways. If you understand what I'm saying, I want it to be a utilitarian piece.
I see. Well, perhaps I should show you some pieces from our collection in the back room. And he presses a button, and the door. You hear the door lock, and the glass facing out on the streets just tints and becomes opaque. And he gestures for you to follow him. And okay, you can add. What would you like to call your aspect?
How about what would be a good one?
Like nano weave spy suit.
Sure.
Okay. So you guys watch as And flashing back to the present, you guys watch as Pim lays down and starts making us. Well, you guys don't watch. Again, it's pitch black. You hear a weird rustling sound as Pim starts to make snow angels on the ground, and the floor begins to just dissolve beneath her. So I will point out, though, that you're in space.
Yeah.
So what's the next part of this plan?
Got a great plan. We're inoculated against space.
All right, you're gonna have to spend a fate point for that one.
No, that's fair. I'm just saying that's the thing. We are inoculated against space because I want to make this like even more ridiculous. Well, not ridiculous. I just want to make it more fantastical. I think we've got fucking nano machines and all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm literally a walking star. There's no reason why we can't be inoculated against space.
It's true.
So I think that the way this looks is, flashback to the three of us dressed in like workers' clothes. Like in Australia we call it drill, but like road worker type of stuff clothes, like a high-vis sort of heavy wear material.
Mm-hmm.
And we're walking into like a like a doctor's office, and there's a bunch of other people in similar kind of attire here. And the doctor walks up to us and says, and hands us these forms, and we're ticking like why our medical history and stuff like that, whether we're pregnant and things like this. And then, we get shown in one by one into a room. And the doctor sits me down and says, so why do you need the inoculation? As they're like prepping a giant needle full of this strange looking fluid. And I just go, life's been hard since I left the Abbey, and I've been doing a lot of jobs, and I heard that there's some good work out there in the rings. So I got a little bit of money put away, so I figured why not go for the full inoculation? In case something happens, in case hard suit tears or whatever, you don't want to be, you don't want to leave your kids, without a mum.
Not many other workers out there can afford this kind of inoculation. You say you're out of work, huh?
Well, yeah, I put a little aside. I mean, all these other guys can afford it.
I don't know. I hear stories every day about guys out there being killed doing that job.
Look, my understanding was that your clinic specializes in this and that you wouldn't ask too many difficult questions.
Oh, yeah, sure. I forgot about that part. I just like to chat with people.
No, I get it. I understand wanting to chat. It's just, I was wondering, what exactly is the lifetime of the inoculation? Like, how long will it last in my system, and when activated, how long will it remain active?
Well, I mean, with this injection, you should be fine for 1 to 3 days, but you're going to need a booster. So be sure to get in here for the booster.
Yeah, sure. We should be fine. And then I think we cut back to the train car, and we're all looking at like our watches, and it's like, we've only got like a few minutes before this stuff wears off. If we're going now.
All right, everybody got their boosters, right? Because I'm about to break through.
We've got at most. I've got like 28 minutes left on my clock at most.
You didn't get your freaking booster?
You said that we'd be doing the job today. I didn't realize it'd take us this long to get through the train car.
Okay, well, the crew has the aspect inoculated against space.
Right. I'm picturing like mid-argument, the cabin explosively decompresses. blown out
And
into
we're
space.
just silently shouting at each other about the boosters.
There's lots of flipping off. Time and Una can blink as they can finally see again, as the light reflected off Saturn and the rings fills your vision, and suddenly you're just and everything goes silent as you're floating through space, ejected towards Saturn's rings. You see Pim is excuse me. Pim is clutching this box that has the whole reason that you're here, and she's clutching it tight to her. And you guys are shooting through space. So someone spend a fate point.
I got this one. I'm going to spend a fate point, and I'm going to arrange for a getaway driver.
Okay. So do you have a scene?
I have a suggested scene, but if you've got one, go for it.
No, go ahead.
I was going to suggest that you're talking to one of the workers in the waiting room.
Okay.
Because if they're all space workers...
They're all broke, and they want to get... Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not saying... Yeah, go for it. I trust you. You got this.
So you look like someone who knows their way around the cockpit of a spaceship.
I mean, yeah. I dabble.
He's a real flyer.
What's it to you?
He takes a bite out of a burrito.
Why are you asking so many questions, man?
You ever?
What are you talking about? So many questions. He asked like one question.
All
right. We're talking here.
Look, maybe we should go over there where there are less intrusions.
I mean, as long as you don't mind, I bring my burrito.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of strong. It
Thank you for enjoying a happy time burrito.
Oh man, we were supposed to go halvesies on that burrito.
Hey man, you still owe me creds for lunch yesterday.
Thank you for enjoying a happy time burrito.
I wish you didn't say that every time I took a bite, but that's the price you pay.
It's an advertisement, right? It just keeps playing.
Yeah.
Damn these cyber burritos.
It'd be a lot less weird if it didn't have a face.
I hope you're enjoying me.
You should try me covered in hot sauce.
Or
perhaps a special Christmas-themed salsa verde.
Christmas-themed salsa. Okay. So he gets up and he follows you, Una.
All right. So listen, have you ever performed like a deep space rescue? Let's say like there's an explosion, an explosive decompression, and people are like blasted out into space, and someone's got to go get them. You think you could do that kind of a thing?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I could probably, as long as if they're spread apart, it would be more difficult. But yeah, I can do that.
All right.
You got like a mining job or something? You worried you want someone on standby?
Let's just say that I think there might be an accident at a very specific time and place, and someone who is willing to swoop in and save the day and not ask too many questions might be very generously compensated.
Okay. Roll clever.
All right.
Or sneaky.
Clever's better. +2. I'm gonna spend a fate point. What could I invoke?
I mean, you can invoke your motive if you want. Like, you need to do this.
Yeah, I'll do that. I have to resurrect my sister. She can't be reconstituted from the biological sample that I have because she's a criminal and she needs a new identity.
Ooh, okay. So that brings you to +4.
Yep.
Okay. So you convince this guy. We're just going to call him Burrito. And I'm guessing it's going to be a crew aspect. I'm going to call it Burrito in your back pocket.
All right.
Pocket burrito.
So you guys are floating through space. Does anyone want a fate point?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Okay. Anyone else? More than one person can have this fate point.
I'm good.
I'm good for now. Yeah.
Okay. So Una, and Time. You guys are looking around. You could see the lights and the burn of the police pretty close right now. Then you look, quote unquote, down below the train, and you see the shuttle that you rented for Burrito is waiting for you. As you look, the two of you are right next to each other, and the shuttle tilts, and the door on the side opens up, and he's ready to catch you. And you guys go sailing in, and you slam against the wall, but there's a big net set up there, and you catch it, and you're set up in the net. And you can see that Burrito has the door to the cockpit closed, but there's a window, and he looks over his shoulder at you guys and gives a thumbs up, like a question mark. But Pim, you had to grab the crate, and it threw your trajectory off. So you guys watch as Pim just goes shooting by the door and is heading towards the rings of Saturn with the loot.
Oh God.
Am I shooting in the direction of the cop cars?
I look at the timer on my wrist. How much more time do I have till my inoculation runs out?
You said like 30 minutes.
I'd be willing to accept a fate point if it's a very narrow margin.
Okay, yeah, you could take a fate point. You've got 3 minutes.
Brilliant. I grab hold of who's in the thing with me?
Una, Ryan.
Yeah. I grab hold of Una and say, "Pass me that line." And then you see me like shove my hand into like part of the ship and just like energy start flowing up my arm.
Una reaches over and passes Time the line.
Cool. I clip it onto my waist and then say, "Don't you fucking leave me out there!" And then I jump out of the back of the spaceship and just let my lower torso, my lower appendages rather, my legs and stuff, just explode with solar energy as I shoot off like Superman towards our wayward companion.
Una, you look out the door wondering, what the fuck is she doing? And then duck back just in time as this bolt of plasma goes shooting straight where your head just was. Time, you are shooting like a bullet straight towards Pim and the cargo. So, you want to rescue both of them?
I want to try and rescue both of them.
Okay. Sorry.
I think this might actually be careful, right? Because I've got to try and aim myself across hundreds of kilometers.
I mean, I would take careful. I would also take flashy because
if you're taking flashy, then I'll
it's sort of like you're not carefully, like if you were like using little bursts to like maneuver yourself perfectly, but from your description, you're just like burning.
This. Yeah, all right. I am Mark Watney at the end of The Martian.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll go flashy. I just like start pulsing with light to try and let you know that I'm coming towards you. I hope you notice the second sun in the sky.
Pim, you're slowly spinning as you're holding this crate, and every time you complete an orbit, you see this. You see the ship, and then the next time you spin, you see this blinding light right by it, and you have to close your eyes, and then you spin again, and that light is closer, and you can't realize what. It takes you a second to realize, oh, that's Time. As she's just burning like a sun towards you.
If only I could make noise. I got. Let's remove those. I got 4.
4. Okay.
Can I get a fate point if the line isn't quite long enough and I have to abandon the cargo and send it to him, or
Yes,
or
you
abandon the
absolutely
cargo
can.
and get saved?
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, do I need to like secure the other end of the line, or make
I think
sure
that would be
it's-
great if, in the style of Mulan, the line is secured to me, but it's not secured to the ship, and you notice this, and furiously start trying to tie.
With your
This
cyborg
feather.
arm, you're like, it's just like sparks are flying through your fist as you're trying to grab onto this line.
So if you want, Ryan, so do you want to do that, Una?
Yeah, I'm gonna start trying to furiously tie it to something.
All right, so Una, you look over. There's basically a big spindle that's been quickly unraveling as time is shooting down, and you see the end of the rope is sticking up and keeps flicking against part of the ship as it spins, and you realize, oh shit, it's not secure to anything.
All right. I'm gonna.
Just imagining you shouting at the pilot, like, why do you have this big spool of wire that's not secured to anything? He's like, this is a cargo ship. I was delivering the wire to someone. What did you do with it?
You'll get it back, hopefully.
We thought it was a rescue line. This isn't a rescue ship.
I'm picturing just as the thing, like the end of the spool comes unspooled, Una grabs onto it and like wraps her legs around the spindle of the winch thing that's been unraveling.
Mm-hmm.
And her arms start to like stretch out unnaturally as the force of time's burn is pulling her apart.
All right, that's going to be forceful to hold on.
That's at plus nothing. So let's see how I do. I'm at plus nothing. Can I succeed at cost?
Sure.
Maybe like I take a consequence because I'm literally like stretching myself apart.
Yeah. So you could take the consequence. We'll call that probably a mild consequence.
Okay.
Pulled at the seams.
Okay.
So you're really cybernetic, and you watch as sparks start to shoot from your shoulders as you're desperately holding onto this rope. Time, you could see every time Pym spins, the light hits the crate just the right way. So you have like this flashing beacon basically, and you see it, and you're speeding towards it, and all of a sudden you get yanked to a stop as your rope runs out. You reach out. You're just feet from Pym. So Steve, you got that fate point.
So I'd like to kick off against the crate. And send it in Time's direction as I go in the opposite direction towards the police, I guess.
Yeah. So the police are running low across the rings towards you, and you watch Time as Pym kicks the loot to you and goes faster, further away from you.
I grab the crate.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I guess. I mean, unless I can secure the crate to the line and then go out and separate myself and go after you.
As Pym is floating away, she flips you off.
With a frozen tear in my eye, I flip you off in kind.
Your heart's just not into it.
As I start pulling myself back towards the ship.
Since the line goes slack, Una is going to secure it back to the original tether.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I have an idea that might save Pim.
Okay.
Um,
Don't worry, I have an idea too.
so we do have that that DNA from the chief constable.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
So I'm going to hack the nearest automated police drone and order it to do a DNA scan of Pim, thus pinging her as the chief constable in need of immediate rescue.
Okay. Roll clever.
Oh, that is a lot of minuses. I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
Fate point to reroll.
Yeah,
I think that's your last one.
it is. All right, let's see how we do here. Much better, but still I broke even on the roll, so I'm at +3.
+3. Okay. So Pim, you watch as one of these police rockets comes breaking out of the formation that's heading towards the train and starts shooting straight towards you.
Okay. All of a sudden, my suit kind of comes up over my face, and it just goes completely black.
Okay.
So I'm just a black spot in space.
There's a lot of those.
So I'd like to use sneak to board this this space rocket.
Okay. Yeah, roll sneak.
All right.
Sneaky.
Sneaky.
Same thing.
-1, but +3, so 2 total. I'll spend a fate point to make it a 4. And
You can invoke
I will invoke
Secretive Shifter would work. You can
Nano-Weave
invoke
spy
your
suit.
Yeah, you can
since I'm
invoke your
just
Nano-Weave spy
dead.
suit.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pim pulls up the hood, and it's a full hood, and just sort of melts into the background. And you guys watch as the ship pulls into, or does a reverse burn to stop, and starts scanning the area where it detected the DNA of the inspector. And then you suddenly see a black splotch on its hull.
So I'd like to spend another fate point to say that there's only one person on board.
Sure.
And then I'll spend my last fate point to have a flashback for another aspect.
Sure.
So how do I want to do this? You see like the person that Pim looks like now, just kind of walking along through like a shop, and she's dressed in bright colors, and she's her hair is a different color. It's blonde, as we discussed earlier, and you see a man kind of behind her, walking behind her.
Mm-hmm.
And as she turns a corner, the man just kind of comes up and puts his hand on her shoulder, and all of a sudden that man just collapses, and the woman keeps walking. So I want the aspect of you have to tell me if you're a brain slug.
Okay. Yes. I love it. So
I'm not actually a shifter. I'm a brain slug.
Okay.
And then we go back to the future, and you see the guard like scanning the guy inside the space shuttle scanning, and all of a sudden this void of blackness pops up, and the face part retracts, and Pim puts her hand on the guy's shoulder.
Okay, and we see a shot from outside the cockpit as this Pim, clad in all black, puts her hand on the guy's shoulder, and there's a brief moment, and then Pim just collapses, and the guy shakes his head and smiles. So, did you guys know Pim was a brain slug?
That's why I'm on the run from everyone. No one likes a brain slug.
It's true.
I don't think
however,
I knew.
you don't have any of the loot right now, Pim.
Oh yeah. So I would like to carefully, or sneakily, I would like to sneakily redivert this rocket ship to our basically our what is the word I'm looking
The
for?
rendezvous.
Our rendezvous point.
Okay. Yeah. Roll sneaky.
Okay. I just rolled -3. I've rolled negative. I've rolled a minus pretty much every time this time around. So I have no more fake points. So I'm at a 0.
Okay. So you start piloting away, and the radio in front of you starts chirping. Unit 15, where are you going? Get back into formation.
The superintendent has requested an immediate evac to the planet, or to
You have the superintendent on board?
Yeah, isn't that who I was? What was the title
At
of the
this
guy who
time
I
of year?
The chief constable.
the
this
chief
far?
constable?
No.
Localized entirely in your kitchen.
Since I screwed up on that sneaky roll, I'm going to say I mean the chief constable. Damn it, not the superintendent. Come on, Pim, get your shit together.
15, get back into formation right now. That's an order.
I have contravening orders from the superintendent, or from the chief constable.
The radio goes dead. You're pretty sure they don't believe you.
I would like to cleverly evade capture. So I'd like to use the rings of Saturn as like a the debris that's in the ring, that are in the rings of Saturn, to kind of like lose the people who are following me.
Okay, so you watch as 2 more ships break off from formation and start to rocket towards you. Time and Una, you see another 5 ships heading towards your ship for the getaway. So what are you also? Pim, roll clever. What are you other 2 doing?
Oh, hey, there we go. Plus
Look,
2.
I'm keen
So
for you to solve this problem.
I am out of fate points.
I'm keen for you to come up with the solution to the problem and then have me execute it.
All right.
All right. Well, while you think, Pim, you take off. You realize that your ruse isn't working and say "fuck it." So you take off and start burning right into the rings, and these densely packed clumps of ice and dirt are spinning everywhere around you. And you start ducking and weaving and flying through these, counting on your quick reflexes to get you through. And eventually, you dive in through the top. And by the time you come shooting out of the bottom, the police are no longer following you. They got stymied and held up behind you. And you let out a cheer as you start making your way to toward the rendezvous point.
All right. We still have. Is the shuttle bay or whatever we were we fell into? Is it still open and like
Up to you.
Force fielded? I kind of like that, because that's how we're able to talk and. So the cargo bay is open, but there's a force field across it, and we can. It's like selectively permeable, so we can cross through it. So can I, with the materials in the cargo bay, improvise some explosives to drop through the force field and perhaps stymie the police further?
That would depend how you roll on. I would take either clever or flashy.
I'm going to go with clever on that one. Let's see. I'm rolling without fate points at this point, so that's good. +4.
+4, yeah. You got some explosives. Do you want them to be like timed or remote detonated, or do you want to make it dramatic and time has to like shoot a bolt of plasma at them to set it off?
Would you give me a fate point if I made them dramatic so that time would have to shoot plasma at them?
Sure, because then it's going to depend on Ray's roll.
All right.
Fantastic.
All right. So I shout over at time. All right. These should go off, but they need a whole lot of energy input. So I'm gonna chuck them out there. You think you can hit them?
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. Probably. I mean, yes. Yeah. Yes.
All right, so Una takes these quickly improvised explosives and chucks them 1, 2, 3 out the door. So time, roll flashy.
All right. Here we go. Ooh. I think I missed the first one. -1.
-1. Yeah, you could spend a fate point to reroll if you want.
Yeah, I've got 3 to spare. Why not? Let's roll on a more rigid surface than my mouse pad. Huh. Well, 0.
Okay, I'm assuming you're invoking your solar acolytes.
Yeah, indeed.
You miss. It just shoots out into space.
I'm a little rusty at long range targets. Okay. Just give me one more go.
Okay.
I sort of like work the arms and then like run my hands over my head and sort of leave my hands lingering on the tattoo at the back of my head, and then pull my hands down and sort of like crouch to the ground. No, actually, I sort of stand with my arms apart and then sort of bring my arm up to my right arm up to my shoulder. And then it looks like my hand is like raking across my chest, but it's about like half a foot away as light arcs between my fingers. And she sort of spins down to the ground as her arm comes back to her hip, and then like rolls onto one knee and shoots her arm forward, where you see like a concentrated bolt of light shoot out. And misses again.
Awesome.
It's like, all right, new plan. I would
can
like
I
to roll again.
Oh, okay. You
No. When appropriate, I would like to roll again.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
can I get a fate point for being on my ship and like just kind of like plotting the course and then like kind of like sucking on my lip and being like, shit, they're gonna fuck it up. And then like plotting the course back to where I just came from, got away from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So you take fate points, and then we watch as the ship just spins around and makes a hard burn towards where the getaway ship is. So time, if you'd like, you could try again.
Yeah. So, this time, seeing as I'm flashy,
With feeling.
she puts her hands at her side, fingers spread wide, and we see light. We see little arcs of solar radiation arcing between the fingertips.
Mhm.
But it's not so much. It's not arcing like lightning. It's like I guess it looks more like a plasma tube, right?
Like a solar flare,
like one of those plasma balls. It's like my hands are on the glass and my knees are the
Okay, yeah, I know what you're
at the
talking
center.
about. Yep.
It's not. It's yeah.
It's
and
like
then
that orangish purple kind of glow.
yeah. And then she pulls her hands wider apart and raises her arms up. So they're now like, it's like she's got a marionette, and then shoots her hands forward and just a hail
Okay.
So it's a storm of solar hail shooting out the back of our ship. So I roll flashy.
Yep.
Oh, much better. I will take a +3. Thank you.
Okay.
Very nice.
So you watch as this storm of plasma comes shooting out of Time's fingers. They burn and spin, leaving trails in your eyes as you watch. And for a second, you think, oh shit, how did I miss that? And then you see one of the plasma balls connect with the explosive. And from your position on the ship, you don't hear anything, but you just see the explosions light up and go 1, 2, 3 as they chain and connect the others. And there's these bubbles of burning material that can burn in space because why not? And quickly,
I mean, that's not that difficult. They just need an oxidizing agent in them.
Yeah, there's something. It's
like spermite
stuff. Yeah, sure.
Spermite has its own oxidizer. Rocket fuel has its own oxidizer.
Yeah, that's true. Rocket fuel works. It burns in space. And the police cruisers that are chasing you go zooming off and break their formation and zooming off into other directions to avoid the explosion.
Oh, that was a close one.
All right, you hear Burrito go woohoo as he takes off. Steve, would you like another fate point?
Sure.
So you come cruising up, and you're heading back. You see those explosions in the distance, and you see the trail of the getaway ship heading in your direction. Una and Time, you hear Burrito go, "Uh-oh, looks like we got one more ahead of us."
Ahead of us?
Yeah, it must have broke off from the others. You can look out the cockpit window and you see a police cruiser heading right.
Yeah, I head towards the cockpit as the rear door closes, and I just like look at Uma. I'm like, well, I mean, we got to play chicken, right?
I think we have to.
All right, Burrito. Are you familiar with the old Earth pastime of chicken?
Is that anything like Space Hen?
No, it is nothing like Space Hen. So what we're gonna do is it's more like you ever watched shark racing?
Oh yeah, I love shark racing.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is I want you to charge at that police cruiser, and don't you break off even a millimeter. You just charge straight at that point that they are currently on. It's about who flinches first, Burrito. And I know that you're not going to flinch first because you're a big, powerful lad.
Burrito don't flinch for nothing.
Yeah,
You see this steely determination come into his eyes as he grabs the throttle and inches it forward, and you feel the acceleration.
We better find the fucking spacesuits right now. We're gonna have
do you got someone should spend a fate point for spacesuits?
I can do that.
Cool.
I'll spend my fate point.
All right. So we have a flashback. Do you have an idea, or I can set the scene?
No, go ahead. You do it. I don't have an idea for getting spacesuits.
All right. So you're standing outside. You're standing in a dock on Titan, and you're looking at this little miserable freighter that Burrito procured. Yep, there she is. Got everything we need. It's got the engines and the door that you said you need. You guys jump in.
It's got an engine and a door. Yeah, I fucking hope so.
It's got the mag locks on the floor, so you can lock the crate down. Anything else?
I mean, Burrito. No offense, but she doesn't look too space worthy. Like, maybe we'll get a couple of good hours out of her. Maybe like one hard burn, but we need something that, is going to be able to weather a chase potentially.
Look, she might not look like much, but this hunk of junk will be good for at least 2 hard burns.
One of the engines falls off.
I can fix that. Look, it was short notice, too. This is the best I could do. Unless you guys wanted to spend a lot more money and buy a brand new ship and leave a nice paper trail, which you specifically said you didn't want to do.
No paper trail.
All right, fine. You know
Make
what?
it work.
No federales.
No federales.
Knocks this fucker up.
It doesn't have any of those fancy, safety features. So there's no gel cushions and no G neutralizers. So if we do a hard burn, you're gonna feel it.
Is that duct tape? Is that duct tape on the hull?
I mean, technically, it's vac tape.
Yeah. yeah. What she said.
It doesn't lose its adhesion in the vacuum.
You know what? I'm just gonna go down to the local shop and pick up some spacesuits just in case. Emergency spacesuits.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's a good idea. Sure.
We should all have them.
So I'm picturing that the emergency spacesuits are basically like a rectangle, like that's just a few inches that you like slap on your chest, and this like plasticky thing just comes out and envelops you.
Like in Night's Dawn.
Maybe?
Or maybe
Smart silicon is like a smart silicon spacesuit looks like a toilet seat of black rubber that you put around your neck, and it's got a rebreather bit that you bite into, and then when you bite down on the rebreather, it turns on and envelops you in like a millimeter thick thing of black smart silicon, and to allow you to see through it, it just stretches itself even thinner.
I like that. Except instead of black, it's red, because that's all they had.
What I was gonna say was I bought the children's models. So they're like inflatable balloon zoo animals.
Yeah.
One of them has like unicorns and stars on it.
Yeah. One of them's a giraffe. One of them's a zebra.
Shotgun zebra.
Okay, so that's the crew.
They're basically silicone furries now.
Emergency animal friend spacesuits.
All right, so I'm racking my mind for a reason that like I would play chicken with these guys.
Yeah,
so here's what I came up with.
They're not sending you any messages. They're just barreling straight towards you and accelerating.
All right, so can we say, for the sake of narrative, that the reason that I'm playing chicken with these guys is that one of the other space cruisers has once again like zoned onto them and is on their tail, and I think they're about to make a bead. So I am playing chicken in order, hoping that they will break off so that I can get a shot on this person.
Okay, sure. So you're just barreling straight towards them. You guys, Burrito says, "Oh shit, he's locking weapons on us."
No, fuck.
Or he's charging his laser cannons.
I don't know if I can absorb that much.
Don't do it, Burrito. Break off. You gotta break off. You gotta be the one to blink.
Burrito doesn't blink.
God damn it, Burrito.
Can I roll? What would it be? Maybe, I guess, forceful to to have Burrito blink first.
Sure. Yeah, you can roll forceful.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. -3 again. So my -2. I will spend a fate point to reroll.
Okay.
That one is a +2, so a 3.
Okay, so what aspect are you going to invoke?
Oh,
Burrito in your back pocket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're at +3?
Yes.
All right. So in the cabin, Time and Una have the rings of their emergency spacesuits around their necks, and the mouthpieces are like in their mouths, and their mouths are open, and they're just waiting for the second to bite down on them as the police cruiser gets closer and closer and closer. And just when you think you're about to die, Burrito goes, "Burrito blink!" and jams the rudder as the ship just careens to the left, and you see the cruiser. You feel the ship shake as the cruiser misses you by inches, and you can see through the glass. Oh no, Pim doesn't look the same anymore. So you just see a police officer.
Yeah, police officer flipping you off as they go by.
This ain't no. You can't be full of these kinds of maneuvers, Burrito. This ain't no space yacht.
And then you feel the shake of an explosion behind you. Well, Steve.
Can I roll? I've got an idea. Can I roll clever to eject myself from my rocket and basically use the whatever the rocket to say that I'll spend a fate point to say this has like a rocket ejector seat. Yeah, and I want to like glom onto the Burrito's car.
Okay. So you spend the fate point. And roll. What did you want to roll? Clever.
Clever.
Yeah. Okay.
Careful.
They're
both the same.
It could be flashy. I would take clever or flashy.
I'll take clever
because it's pretty flashy to kamikaze your ship.
All right. So +2, and I have a 2 in clever, so 4.
+4. Okay. So you guys feel the ship shake as there's an explosion behind you. And Burrito hits a switch, and it turns on a view screen that shows you the rear. And he replays the last few seconds, and you see the ship that almost hit you. There's a flash as the cockpit ejects, and it just smashes into a police cruiser you didn't even know was right behind you. And then you hear on the top of the hull, you hear a thud, like a boom as something lands on your ship. And then a second later, you see the police officer who flipped you off, leans down over the windshield and like knocks on it upside down. That was a good sound. Whoever did that.
Una is just sort of like slack-jawed and like cocks her head to the side a little bit and then quizzically raises her middle finger.
The cop presses his face against the window and then puts his middle finger up against it as well.
Una turns to Time and says, "I think Pim was a brain slug."
Well, I'm a shifter. I could have shifted.
That's true. I forgot you were a shifter. All right. I think Pim's the cop.
Right. Okay.
All right. Someone's gonna have to go out there and get her.
Actually,
my inoculations run out, so
what you saw out the window was actually a bright red loris. Somebody with a loris head, and then I stuck my face up against the window, and then as the silicone stretched out, you could see that it's the cop's face, and he gives you the finger because I have on the same shitty space suit that you do. You all do.
Nice.
Okay. You see the cop moves around, and he's just got those weird prints on his spacesuits.
All right, so I guess I'm the one who's going out because Time's inoculation wore off, and I still have mine. And Burrito's got to drive the space jalopy. I love that he just accepted that his name was Burrito.
I mean, I'm assuming that these aren't your real names and that these are code names.
Still, you could argue to come up with a better code name than Burrito.
Well, I called him Burrito because our one viewer requested it. So
nice.
I decided to be nice to him.
That's awesome.
So you open the cargo bay door, and the force field shimmers in place, and you watch as Pim crawls his way in, and lands on the deck.
As I'm now in an oxygen-rich environment, I say, "You guys really know how to fuck up a plan, don't you?"
Well, we had the spacesuits all ready to go.
Yeah, nice zebra and auric thing you got going on there.
It's a giraffe.
I don't know what an aurochs print would look like. Just brown.
It would be gray and white and black.
Oh, and sorry, that's not a giraffe. That's not a zebra. That's a dinosaur. Excuse me.
All right. So Burrito flies you to your rendezvous points. Do you guys want one final fate point?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So you guys land. You ditch the ship like you planned, and you've got this box of loot that you managed to get open, and inside you find 100 blank ident discs and the ident disc coder.
Yes. Finally, my daughter and I can travel to the sun without needing to pay those exorbitant scalper prices.
Wait, you did this to go on a tour?
No, I did this to move to the solar, the solar constellation. You know, I'm sick of being out here with you non-believers.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to move to the Space Vatican.
The Space Vatican.
I want to go live in a Dyson swarm.
And Crystal's gonna finally get that new body she deserves and has been cheated out of for all of these years because of her unfortunate criminal record.
And I'll finally be able to stop running.
Okay.
Burrito, what are you going to do?
Oh, Burrito's going to retire.
I'm gonna buy my own chain of burrito stores.
I was gonna say pizzerias.
Pizzerias, yes, even better.
Sounds like a pretty good dream.
Pizzas.
Hey, Burrito, why don't we take these new identities? Why don't you and I take these new identities down at bar and discuss it? I might want to invest.
Ah, all right. I like that plan. Burrito grabs his new ID and puts it in his pockets, and the two of you walk out into the streets.
And the last thing you see as they go through the door is him putting her hand on Burrito's shoulder.
Oh, poor Burrito.
Oh no!
I mean, it's ambiguous. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just can't stop stealing identities.
I need those brains.
Yeah. Brain slug's gonna brain slug. Okay, so I guess we're done. So that was your job, and it all went according to plan.
It all went according to plan, quote unquote.
Yeah. So what did you guys think?
I think that this has legs.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It actually was a lot faster to set up than I thought it would be.
Yeah. What about stunts? Are those like?
If in regular Fate Accelerated, that's sort of like what takes the longest for character creation. It gives you like a bonus or a way to break the rules. So like if Ryan was a hacker, he might take a stunt that would give him a +2 bonus in specific situations, like to when trying to avoid detection while infiltrating systems.
Yeah, you have to pair an approach with a really specific instance.
Yeah.
To be honest, though, it's not like you specifically need stunts to make Fate work. I think this is a fine simplification.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's because I figured stunts would just make it a little more complicated. If
Or if
someone
you-
wanted to run like a really long version of this, I think you could probably use like the flashbacks to give yourself a stunt.
No,
Or you
games
could
that
just-
can only do one session are in right now.
Yeah.
The other option is like if somebody fails a roll, they can declare a stunt to give themselves a +2, and then it's just.
Well, no, that's what you use fate points for in your aspects.
Mhm.
So if you fail, you can spend a fate point
I-
to invoke one of your aspects.
Yeah. I'm just saying if you wanted them to like create stunts on the fly, then they could get that +2. But then they
I see what you're
use their
saying.
stunt. Like that is their stunt from then on. Like whatever is that really specific aspect.
Whatever that action was that they were doing.
Yeah,
Right.
it's now their
Okay.
stunt.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
The other thing you can do is if you want it to be like plug and play, you could have like a pre-generated list of stunts that people can choose from.
Yeah,
That
that's
might be
true.
useful.
The only problem with that
I mean,
is-
I would only do that if you actually want to include stunts.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was fine without.
yeah, because it was a pretty quick game too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think stunts are really necessary. I think because especially if it's set anywhere, some of the like stunts wouldn't be applicable. Like if you're doing a train job in the Wild West, you're not going to have a hacking stunt.
Yeah, that's true. So I had headcanoned in the middle of this that the Happy Time Burrito Company at some point engineered a giant Happy Time burrito as a publicity stunt, like an O'Neill cylinder sized burrito,
Fucking
Oh
meat.
man,
and
yeah,
that it
meat hab.
and then it went rogue. So it's just a giant burrito floating in space that broadcasts things about salsa verde on all
Yeah.
channels, and nobody goes near it.
It just broadcasts burrito opportunities to discerning investors.
So I was kind of hoping that game would end with a police chase around a giant burrito that was trying to swat us out of the sky like insects.
Well, you should have you could have put that in there.
It could have, Ryan. It's your fault it didn't.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry I didn't
if
bring
you
that up.
mentioned it, you could have been like, "Oh yeah, I say quick, flee towards the burrito."
I didn't have any fate points left. Otherwise, I totally would have.
I think you could have still suggested it.
Yeah.
End burrito slavery. Free burritos. But not free to eat. Free as in not slaves anymore.
Oh, see, our even listener was like, "What if it's like Meat Hab from Eclipse Phase, but a giant burrito?"
Yeah.
I like that. So next time, if we do this again, you'll be trying to steal something from the giant burrito. I think we've established that.
We're gonna steal the secret salsa verde recipe before the Halloween salsa verde event.
Oh, Halloween salsa verde. That's
Halloween
salsa verde.
pico de gallo.
Yeah. Whatever the word orange is in Spanish.
We need the computer code for
Salsa
their
orange in Spanish.
I think
Nice.
orange is Spanish already.
Ah, really?
No, I think it's
Naranjo.
Naranjo.
Oh, you're right. Oh no, it's okay. Never mind. I'm stupid.
I assume that verde means green.
Green, yeah.
Yeah. It's not Pico de Gallo. It's Spooky de Gallo.
Oh God.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It needs to, some rough edges sanded off. But
Is now when we ask for any final will thoughts?
yeah. So, if any other final will thoughts from anyone, or any thoughts at all?
I like burritos.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. Oh, and check out Ray's podcast, Insert Quest here.
I mentioned it at the beginning.
I think they have fewer burritos, but it's still very good.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a burrito episode.
There you go. All right. Later, guys.